Hello and thanks for stopping by. This is Boulder Dash for the Commodore 64, released by Microfun in 1984. I'm playing this in a C64 full-size console, and this is one of the few games in the carousel that I actually played when I was younger. I didn't own the game until now, but I got to play it a little bit on one of the old Atari PCs. I think it was an Atari 400 or maybe an Atari 800. The Commodore 64 version is actually quite good here, and offers some great puzzle challenges. The game is basically an underground maze where you try to dig your way through a cave to retrieve diamonds, and then open the doorway to the next level. There are a total of 16 different caves to play and 5 difficulty levels for each. There is a timer running, but it's not much of an obstacle in the first level or two. The more difficult levels, the timer gets a little shorter and you have to collect more diamonds to succeed. It increases in difficulty pretty well. There are also short intermission puzzles after you complete some of the caves where you can earn bonus tries. In this game you play the character of Rockford, and you spend your time digging around and pushing boulders out of your way. The game is really kinda part Dig Dug and maybe part Solomon's Key. I find myself finding pieces that resemble both in this game. You get 3 tries per game, and if you score 500 points you will get an additional try. It's a puzzle game that you have to pay attention to because you can either crush yourself on accident or get yourself stuck in places that you just can't get out of. You can dig through dirt and you push boulders if there's a space behind the boulder. The caves also have their own unique shapes and you can't dig through the walls of the cave. So depending on the placement of the boulders in conjunction with the walls of the cave, it's very possible to drop a boulder in such a place where you've permanently closed off your exit. In those cases, you're just going to have to wait for the timer to run out. As you dig through dirt, you're going to leave behind open spaces. With there being so many boulders around, removing dirt will allow certain boulders to fall. This can start to cascade pretty quick, but you should be able to adjust to the basics on the first level or two. The rest of the game is building off of the early successes and trying to replicate them when they start throwing in new variables in the game like different cave shapes or different obstacles. It can be quite challenging if you give it a chance. There are also some various animals roaming about in the game that you need to avoid. Sometimes you can crush them with boulders, and when you do kill them, they'll turn into diamonds. After you collect enough diamonds in a given level, an escape tunnel opens to the next level. The thing is, now you have to go to where the tunnel is, and it doesn't just appear in front of you. For levels that are large, you'll need to suddenly go find it. Hopefully you have enough of a timer left to make it, and that you haven't unnecessarily buried it without realizing it. This is a solid puzzle game not only for the Commodore 64 but in general. This game was also released a few years later for the NES, and it appears to function the same. There are some basic differences, of course, like there's a world map that's really similar to Super Mario Bros. 3, and of course there are different graphics. It was clear to me that this was not a direct port of a game, but the basic gameplay is all there. The colors are certainly more vibrant in the NES version, and you control a little man with a miner's helmet instead of whatever Rockford is. Rockford really looks just like some created cartoon mascot of some sort. It's certainly not human, not in the game or on the packaging. The NES version also has music through the whole game, it seems, and that's always a plus for me. I have to say that I really like this Commodore game. It succeeds as a decent puzzler. It's not visually complex, but it establishes some clever basic rules early on, and it makes things more complex as you go. After seeing that there's an NES version, well, now I want to kind of track that down. Maybe give it a closer comparison. There's also a 3DS version out there, I think. I'll have to keep an eye out. I can see why they chose to add this one to the C64 Mini. It's solid all around. Well, that's all I have for Boulder Dash today. Thanks for giving this one a view, and I'll catch you next time.